The kingdom is burning, the empire has fallen, and the man holding the match just walked through the front door of Monday Night Raw with an army at his back. What you're about to witness isn't just another segment. This is the moment when chaos became strategy, when rebellion became revolution, and when one of the most dangerous collectives in WWE history declared war on everything we thought we knew about power. Bron Breakker, Logan Paul, and their allies didn't just show up tonight. They showed up to remind us that in this business, you either control the throne or you watch someone else burn it to the ground. And Paul Heyman, the wisest man who ever held a microphone, just lit the fuse that's going to explode everything. Before we go any further, I need you to do something for me. I need you to be part of this family. If you love the intensity, if you live for these moments, hit that subscribe button right now, smash that notification bell, because SLAMZONE is where we break down the battles that define this industry. And when this story reaches its breaking point, when the twist comes that nobody saw coming, I want you here with us. Share this with every wrestling fan you know, because what we're witnessing tonight will echo for months to come. Now let's get into this. The arena is electric. You can feel it through the screen. That buzz in the air when something massive is about to unfold. The crowd knows it. They're on their feet before anyone even appears. Then the music hits. Not just any entrance. This is the sound of inevitability. Bron Breakker's theme tears through the speakers like a freight train with no brakes, and the building erupts. But he's not alone. Logan Paul steps out beside him, that smirk on his face that tells you he knows exactly what kind of chaos he's about to unleash. And behind them, allies who've aligned themselves with this dangerous vision of domination. They walk down that ramp with purpose, not the rushed steps of guys trying to make a statement. No, this is calculated. Every stride, every glance into the camera, every flex of muscle is a message. They're not here to ask for opportunities. They're here to take everything. Bron Breakker, the genetic masterpiece, the second-generation destroyer who's been tearing through everyone in his path. Logan Paul, the outsider who became an insider, the influencer who proved he belongs in this ring more than half the roster. And now they're united, now they're organized, now they're terrifying, the ring becomes their podium, the microphone becomes their weapon, and Paul Heyman, the special counsel, the advocate, the architect of so many legendary moments, stands at the center holding the verbal grenade. When Heyman speaks, people listen, not because he yells, not because he demands attention, but because every word he chooses is surgical. Every sentence is designed to cut deeper than any suplex, any spear, any finishing move you've ever seen. Heyman's eyes scan the crowd. He lets the moment breathe. The tension builds. You can hear the anticipation in the silence. Then he begins. His voice carries that perfect mixture of respect and venom. He talks about power, about control, about how Monday Night Raw has been operating under an illusion. Pearce, the general manager, the authority figure who's supposed to keep order, has been living in a fantasy world where he actually believes he runs this show. The crowd reacts. Some cheer, some boo. It doesn't matter. Heyman feeds off all of it. He calls out Pearce by name, not with desperation, not with anger, with certainty. The kind of certainty that comes when you know you hold all the cards. He questions Pearce's authority. He dismantles the very foundation of the power structure that's been in place. Every word is a hammer blow against the establishment. And Bron Breakker stands behind him, arms crossed, nodding like a predator watching its prey realize it's already trapped. Logan Paul adds fuel to the fire. When he grabs the microphone, his delivery is different from Heyman's calculated precision. Logan speaks with the confidence of someone who's conquered every arena he's ever stepped into. Social media, boxing rings, wrestling rings, it doesn't matter. He's proven himself everywhere. And now he's tired of waiting in line. He's tired of playing by rules written by people who don't understand what it takes to be great in this modern era. His words are sharp, they're directed, they're meant to sting. The allies surrounding them aren't just standing there for decoration, they're nodding. They're engaged, they're ready. You can see it in their body language. This isn't a loose collection of individuals, this is a faction. This is a movement. And movements don't ask permission. They take what they want and dare anyone to stop them. Then something shifts. The energy in the arena changes. The crowd's attention moves from the ring to the entrance ramp. Pearce appears. The general manager, the man responsible for maintaining order, steps out looking like someone who's been pushed to his absolute limit. His face tells the story. This isn't the first time he's dealt with chaos, but this might be the first time he's genuinely unsure if he can contain it. Pearce walks with authority, but there's something underneath. A tension in his shoulders, a tightness in his jaw. He knows what's at stake. He knows that if he backs down now, if he shows even a moment of weakness, this group will run roughshod over everything. The inmates will run the asylum, and his tenure as general manager will be remembered as the moment he lost control. He enters the ring. The two sides face off. Heyman with his microphone still in hand, that knowing smile playing at the corners of his mouth. Bron Breakker towering, ready to explode at any second. Logan Paul with his arms spread wide like he's daring Pearce to make a move. and Pearce, standing alone, representing the authority, the rules, the structure that these men want to tear down. The verbal exchange that follows is fire. Pearce tries to maintain order. He tries to assert his power. He reminds them that he's the one who makes the matches. He's the one who decides who competes and when. But Heyman counters every point with devastating logic. He asks the questions that make Pearce uncomfortable. If you have all this power, why are we standing in your ring right now? If you control Monday Night Raw, why do you look so afraid? The crowd eats it up. Some sections are chanting. Others are stunned into silence. This is where legends are made. Not in the choreographed moments, not in the scripted promos that feel rehearsed, but in these collisions of personality and will. When men who believe they're right stand inches apart and refuse to blink, the atmosphere is thick with possibility. One wrong word, one miscalculated gesture, and this explodes into violence. Bron Breakker steps forward. He doesn't need a microphone. His presence says everything. He's staring at Pearce like he's deciding whether to wait for permission or just take what he wants. The crowd is losing their minds. They're chanting his name. They're chanting for chaos. They want to see the explosion. They want to witness the moment when order collapses and anarchy takes over. Right here, I'm going to ask you again. If you're feeling this, if your heart is racing watching this unfold, hit that like button. Subscribe to SLAMZONE. We're building something special here, a community that lives for these moments, that understands the art of storytelling in this ring. Comment below and tell me what you think happens next, because what's coming is going to blow your mind. Logan Paul starts pointing at superstars he wants to face. He's calling people out by name. He's making demands, not requests, demands. He wants championships. He wants main events. He wants to prove that he's not just a celebrity playing wrestler. He is a wrestler, and he's better than most of the people in that locker room who've been doing this their entire lives. The allies move closer. The tension is suffocating. Pearce is surrounded, not physically threatened yet, but the implication is clear. He's outnumbered. He's outmaneuvered. And Paul Heyman, brilliant as always, gives him an out, a way to save face while still giving them what they want. It's a masterclass in negotiation. Heyman offers Pearce a choice. Make the matches we want, give us the opportunities we deserve, and we can all walk out of here tonight without this getting ugly. Or refuse, and see what happens when the most dangerous collection of athletes in WWE decides they're done asking. The crowd is divided. Half of them want Pearce to stand firm, to be the authority figure who doesn't bend. The other half wants to see what happens if he refuses. They want the chaos. They want the brawl. They want tables broken and bodies flying and security rushing the ring. Pearce takes a breath. You can see him calculating, weighing his options. The camera zooms in on his face, and you can read every emotion: pride, anger, frustration, and maybe, just maybe, fear. Not fear of violence, but fear of losing control completely. Fear of setting a precedent that will haunt him for the rest of his tenure. Then Bron Breakker does something unexpected. He extends his hand to Pearce. Not in friendship, not in respect, but in challenge. It's a gesture that says everything. We can do this the easy way, or we can do this my way. And my way involves you getting carried out of here. The arena holds its breath. This is the moment. This is where everything pivots. Pearce looks at that extended hand like it's a loaded gun. He knows that whatever he does next defines not just this segment, but the next several months of Monday Night Raw. If he shakes that hand, he's compromising. If he refuses, this explodes. Paul Heyman leans in and whispers something in Pearce's ear that the microphones don't pick up. The crowd strains to hear. They're leaning forward in their seats. Everyone at home is turned up to full volume, trying to catch even a syllable. But whatever Heyman says, it lands. Pearce's expression changes, just slightly, just enough to notice. What happens next will shock you. What happens next is the twist that makes this moment legendary. Because just when you think you know how this plays out, just when you think you can predict the ending, WWE reminds you why this company has been the king of sports entertainment for decades. Adam Pearce steps back. He raises his own microphone, and he says something that nobody saw coming. He doesn't back down. He doesn't compromise. Instead, he makes an announcement that changes everything. He's giving them what they want, but not the way they expected. He's booked spectacular way possible. The crowd explodes. Bron Breakker's eyes light up with anticipation. Logan Paul nods slowly, that competitive fire igniting. Paul Heyman, for just a fraction of a second, looks impressed. And the allies, they're ready. They wanted war. Pearce just gave them a battlefield. But there's one more thing. Pearce announces that if any of them interfere in each other's matches, if they try to game the system, if they don't prove they can win on their own merit, the entire deal is off. And more than that, they'll be suspended indefinitely. It's a power move. It's Pearce reminding them that he might be under pressure, but he's still in charge. The stare down that follows could cut steel. These are warriors sizing each other up before battle. The music hits. Pearce's theme, he walks out of the ring backward, never taking his eyes off the group. He's not running, he's strategically retreating after landing his blow. And the factions standing in that ring, they're not disappointed, they're energized, because this is what they wanted all along. Not just opportunities handed to them, but the chance to prove they're as dominant as they claim to be. The chance to take everything by force and leave no doubt. You just witnessed history. You just watched the power structure of Monday Night Raw get challenged, tested, and redefined. This isn't over. This is just beginning. The matches Pearce announced are going to be absolutely brutal. The consequences are real. And when these athletes step into that ring next week, with everything on the line, the entire landscape of WWE could change forever. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Smash that like, drop a comment, and tell me who you think comes out on top. Are you Team Breaker, Team Logan Paul, or do you think Pearce just outplayed them all? Share this video with everyone you know, because SLAMZONE is where the real breakdowns happen, where we don't just watch wrestling, we live it, we breathe it, we understand the layers beneath the surface. This is what wrestling is all about. The drama, the tension, the unexpected twists, and the promise that next week, when these gladiators collide, we're going to witness something unforgettable. Stay locked in, stay subscribed, and get ready, because the battle is just getting started.